Okay, Shalom, Shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholoim La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakahakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. Just want to say for water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Shah Hanan Nawah. Just coming at you with another quick lesson and praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And just wanted to do a quick little lesson on this particular article. It's in the U.S. Sun. It says top winemaker 44 crushed to deletion by his own grape press in family cellar in front of his horrified dad. So, you know, like to go into these particular kinds of lessons, man, to just show that it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. Now, I tried to look this up, which kind of press he possibly may have had. I'm not sure, because it's basically saying in the article that it was somewhat a power outage, and he thought the machine was off, but I guess once the power kicked back in, you know, that shit went back to roaring on him, and pretty much I think it may have snapped his neck. But we can read through a little bit of the article, because they have all different types of grape press, and they had a 20 hectares. I'm not even sure how many acres that is. That's quite a bit of land though. But you know, when it comes to grapes and things of that nature, you know, a lot of those, because this is, matter of fact, this is over in Italy, and you know, this guy could be a Jake, but you know, Jake don't generally hold on to property like that, or are able to acquire property like that. So he could be an Edomite, but either way, you know, because this is not a skin color thing, you know what I'm saying? You know, their Israelites look like every nation of people on the planet right now, you know, because we've been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and your seed line goes to your father. According to the scriptures, Numbers chapter 1, verse 18, your pedigree, you know, it goes by your father. The mother has absolutely nothing to do with the ethnicity of the child. You know, they may get the looks and features of the mother, but that seed comes directly from the male, which that's a child already, so to speak. But anyway, yeah, I was trying to look into it. These things are kind of expensive, some of them anyway. I guess it depends on what you're doing. But let me just grab that scripture I quoted. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 31. And I like to do these lessons because, you know, it just always fascinated me as soon as I came into this truth. And I found out that it was the Lord that's actually, you know, that actually kills and makes alive. Because I never knew that, you know, because in the Christian church, we're not taught that. We're always taught that Satan is out here just, you know, running rampant, just doing what he wants to do, and he's doing his own thing. But come to find out, you know, he's one of those spirits of vengeance that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai created. He's actually a son of God, according to the book of Job. But this is Hebrews chapter 10, verse 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God, right? Which this was, you know, actually pretty instant, but still his father was standing there and had to see that shit. So you can see the guy right here. And matter of fact, he was into politics as well. It says a renowned winemaker and local counselor has died in a horrific accident after being crushed by a grape press inside his family's cellar. So when they say accident, you know, there's no such thing as accidents or coincidences, or, you know, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, these different things that Esau says, you know, because we understand the scriptures that, you know, man's going of the Lord. First off, let's get that. So he was in the right place at the right time. Everything was set up perfectly for him to, you know, get that demise, so to speak. Let me see here. Old Testament, Proverbs 20 and 24. And it reads, man's goings of the Lord, how can a man then understand his own way? So he was right there, right on time, you know what I'm saying, for everything to happen the way that it happened, you know. And again, there's no such thing as accidents. So let's go to the Apocrypha real quick. Ecclesiasticus, also known as the Book of Sirach in the 1611 King James Bible, chapter 39, verse 28, starting there. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. So the Lord created spirits to appease his wrath. Fire and hail and famine and death, all of these were created for vengeance, right? Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandment. Now, this was always the scary part when I first came in this truth. Like, so you have spirits that are rejoicing to get in a commandment to delete people. And that goes for babies, that goes for infants, that goes for pregnant women, that goes for older women, that goes for older men, you know, you name it. You know, these spirits, they rejoice in getting a commandment from the Lord to go and do that job. Okay, so it says, they shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. So those spirits, man, you know, hey, got that commandment to say, hey, clip the power for a hot second, make him think that shit is off, and click that shit back on, and let him get that business, you know, right? So let's just get off into what pretty much happened here. I don't want to, you know, read the whole article, but this is the guy right here. Supposedly made some pretty good wine. Not sure if I've ever had any before of his this particular brand, but anyway, it says he was clean. It says he was cleaning the press with his father when it suddenly roared back to life, trapping him by the neck. Yep. Emergency crews rushed to the scene on Friday evening, but the paramedics could only pronounce him dead. He was convinced that the press he'd used during the day was off this time too. Said he done this shit thousands of times. See, that's how you know that this is the Lord involved. Because this dude, he cleaned that same machine every day. And then just this particular day, the Lord just, you know, took his ass out of here, man. And this is why, you know, we kind of go into these lessons to, you know, and you need to have a healthy fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. You need to have a healthy reverence or a healthy respect for the Lord, man, because he can take your ass out of here at any point in the game. Investigators believe a brief power outage may have caused the machine to appear switched off. When the power returned, the press restarted without warning, slamming shut and killing Former instantly. So he, you know, he didn't suffer. You know what I'm saying? He was just knocked. The Lord knocked his ass off immediately. But just think about, you know, that's judgment on him. But think about his father actually seeing that. Imagine that. You just watched your son just get killed right in front of you, and just out of the blue. This is not like something you seen coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when there's a situation where you can, you know, you kind of see things coming, or, you know, it's not the same as being in a situation, say like a house fire, for instance. You know, the damn house is on fire. You're trying to get out. You know what I'm saying? You're not instantly just being burnt. You know what I'm saying? Like with that explosion out in Tennessee, you know, a lot of those people, they probably instantly, or they could have seen it. They could have seen it coming within seconds. You know what I'm saying? Had them split seconds to see what was about to happen. It's like, oh shit. You know, but supposedly 16 of those people, that was the Lord. You know, because one of those spirits is fire. You know what I'm saying? And now imagine just getting your ass blown to pieces. They're not going to find really no, I highly doubt if they find any remains of those people, man. Those people probably got torched, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, blown to pieces first off, and then what little elements of them that you know, survived just burned in the fire, man. That was a serious situation. I was just watching that shit on the news again. Okay, but it says his dad witnessed the accident and immediately raised the alarm. Yep, they launched an investigation, all that good stuff, you know. So 20 hectares, I'm not sure how much. It's a family estate. Let me see. Yeah, let me convert it. Let me see here. Yeah, that's a lot of acres. That's damn near 50 acres. That's a lot of land. And, you know, generally, you know what I'm saying, you know, not to say that Jake can't own no land like that, but it's rare. And, you know, and that's a specialty that we once had, you know what I'm saying, because one of the very first miracles that Yahweh done, you know, in the scriptures was, you know, turn water to wine, because we were, you know, it even talks about wine bibber. You know, we was heavy in the wine, and good wine at that. You know, none of this bullshit they got going on today. This guy right here, you know, they probably made some decent wine, but kind of had some of the ancient customs from what this article was saying. But you know, ain't no wine. I can't wait to see that wine that Yahushua is gonna share with the elect of Israel, man, when he makes that return. That's gonna be a party out of this world, boy. That's when you're gonna really know what real wine tastes like. You know what I'm saying? This bullshit Esau putting together right now is just ridiculous, man. It's not even, that shit is trash, man. Anyway, though, but again, I'm thinking this might be some Edomite type shit because of the amount of land. Because Jake, you know what I'm saying? When Jake owned land like that, Esau, he kind of runs down on Jake, man. You know what I'm saying? And finds some type of way to take that take land like that, especially fertile land, because you can't grow grapes just anywhere. You have to have a good, the weather got to match up. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be just that right amount of sunlight, that right amount of moisture in the soil, the correct type of soil. You can't just grow those grapes anywhere. So I'm sure that was good fertile land, and more than likely these are Edomites. But hey, again, it could be Jake, man. Don't get me wrong, Jake. It's some Jake that owns some stuff. Don't get me wrong, but and we know that a lot of Jake are over in Italy. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Jake that's over there. A lot of Israelites that are Italians. You know what I'm saying? That may have that look of maybe an Edomite, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But they're actually Israelites. But yeah, I just wanted to just touch on this for a hot sec. I just found it to be interesting, you know what I'm saying? I always find these articles like this to be interesting because, just the way how quick the Lord can get down. Let's get one more to just prove that the Lord is the one that kills and makes alive. Let's get this one in 1 Samuel 2:6. It says, the Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. So again, these pastors, I always was taught, that's what the pastors was saying, that Satan is, Satan that. And again, Satan, he's out here doing his thing, but he's only doing what the Lord allows him to do, or giving him instruction to do. He's not just out here just wilding out and doing what he wants to do, man. Don't believe that, because when you read in the book of Job, the Lord gave him instructions on what he could do to Job and what he couldn't do to Job, and he couldn't go past that. So that's a perfect example right there. And then him meeting up with the other angels, basically, before the Lord, that lets you know right there, he's not in control of anything, man. Well, let's get one more. Deuteronomy chapter 32 and 39. And it reads, see now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Right? So you're not getting out of the hands of the Lord if he got it out for you, man. When it's time to check out, it is time to check out. I think that's is that Ecclesiastes 8:8, or is it 7:7, or yeah, Ecclesiastes 8:8. It says, there is no man that hath power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither hath he power in the day of death, and there is no discharge in that war, neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it. So yeah, ain't no discharge in that war, man. You losing. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna stop the Lord from calling that spirit back, man. If he wants that spirit back, that's a done deal, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just wanted to just touch on this real quick. We can get one more. Let's get Isaiah, or maybe two more. Isaiah 45:7. And it reads, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So the Lord got down on him, man. One more in Amos 3:6. Yehoratazah. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? See that? So, we have to, go into these basics, or, kind of, because people coming out of Christianity, coming into this truth, they believe that Satan is just out here running rampant, man, and just doing what he wants to do, and that's just not true, man. So that's a stumbling block, you know what I'm saying, you got to get rid of all that shit you learned in the Christian church, because they weren't telling no truth. But anyway, with that, hey, I pray that this lesson was edifying. Kwam Yasha Allah and a Baba Ball.